DonorSearch is a prospect research company. So our goal as a company is to help nonprofits by providing them information on their donors so that you can leverage it to increase your annual fund, increase your campaigns, and overall kind of know more about the person that you're talking to. I'm going to hop into the DonorSearch online suite of tools. Okay, this is our website, DonorSearch.net. Before I dig in, I highly recommend you check out the site and see all the different things we offer. Right? But when I log in, you of course would receive your own username and password, but you're going to gain access to a full suite of research tools. Okay, and when I talk about a suite of research tools, it's more like going to the library. There's going to be the card catalog where you can look up things. There's going to be, each individual book where you can find data. There's lots of ways to go from one aspect to the other and learn more and more and more about a prospect of any kind. Okay, so that's what I talk about when I talk about our DonorSearch online platform. The first tool that it starts up and opens up is our integrated search. This is just like your integration, except you have to fill it in manually. So this is where you would type in the name of someone who you don't have in Bloomerang, maybe somebody you met at an event, or maybe somebody you saw playing Jeopardy last night, right? It's up to you. The minimum required data here is a first name, a last name, and a state. With those three factors, we'll bring up a real estate list to help you narrow down and find more about your prospect, whether it's a spouse's name or a home address or a middle initial. And then you can build those profiles that I already showed you. We even have a link up here to switch between profiles if you have a preference of one or the other. Okay. Everything to the left of the integrated search is another research tool to help you dig through our data sets, most of which are on the profile in one way or another, but in a different way. So I'll give you an example of each. Our gift search is a way to look up charitable and philanthropic giving across the board for a company or a foundation. In this case, since we talked about Kevin Plank already, I'll kind of keep that example going, and we can look up his company, Under Armour. Okay, so we'll search here. Now, we showed you that Under Armour is a $5 billion company and that Kevin's the CEO. We did not show you that Under Armour makes charitable gifts themselves. So you can look up Under Armour here and see a list of charitable gifts that they've made. But it's not just charitable reports here. This is our charitable giving database and our political giving database and our other gift records all put into one data set. So I can sort by the size of the gift here, and the first record is an Under Armour grant from their foundation that we got from their 990. Okay, $5 million to Cal Ripken Senior Foundation in Baltimore. As you go down, you get a gift directly from Under Armour to the Wounded Warrior Project. Then you get a gift from Under Armour and the Cupid Foundation to Fight for Children, and so on. So you can look across just one database into multiple different giving databases to find any record with the keyword Under Armour in it. Now, the reason this database isn't perfect for individuals is that if you search Kevin Plank here, you'll see that there's no star system here. So this is going to show you every single gift by any Kevin Plank in the country. All right, so you really want to focus on individual companies or foundations and make the name specific to that organization, whether it's including the location or by using any of our filters to highlight a specific organization that you had in mind. Okay. The next tool is our prospect generator. This is a tool to help identify people, organizations, foundations, the whole nine, who are likely to give to your organization. Right? So we're finding new prospects. So you can search for the name of an organization specifically or use categories. But the goal is to find a similar organization. So alphabetically, we'll go animal-related causes in Alaska. Okay, so if you are an animal-related cause in Alaska, you might do this search and find out any other animal organization in your area. All right, so let's say we are the Alaska Sea Life Center. we want to learn who is donating to the Alaska Bird Observatory, right? And you can see that there's lots of records for them, varying in years. And it's just basically what we have in the database. If you see a year that we're missing, let us know, and we'll happily go try to find it. Or if you already have that record and you would like to see it in the database, instead of having a drawer full of annual reports, you can send it to us and we'll add it to the database for you, okay? And that can be a physical copy or a PDF of the annual report, and we'll add it. But the goal here is to find a similar organization. Once you've found that similar organization, the next step is a list of their donors to use as again, as a prospecting list. So here are a list of donations by organizations, people, foundations, companies, the whole nine, starting at $5,000, okay? So you can scroll through, you see there's 21 pages for this organization. But the goal here again is to find an organization that would likely give to you. When you find that organization, you can click on it and we're going to do a gift search for that person. All right, so you can clean up the keyword search, whether it's a person, a foundation, or a company, and clean it up a little bit and hit search, and we'll show you anytime we have that organization making a gift. This is when you can say, was that animal organization gift a fluke, or is that all they give to? You know, how focused are they to this particular cause? Do they only give in one area in Reston, Virginia, or are they giving all over the country, right? Are they giving just one or two gifts, or do they have 156 gifts that we can find? All of that data is in here, and it just helps you to make sure that you're talking to the right prospect and help identify people that are really specifically likely to give to you, okay? Again, this tool will find a person, foundations, or companies, really any kind of giving body. The next tool here is our marketing list. This is a tool specifically designed to individuals, all right? Many of you have already gotten used to a mail campaign where you send a postcard to 1,000 people or 5 million people and let them know your cause, how they can help, and what the need is in your area or expertise. This is basically what that service is. It will get you a list of people that are specifically targeted for one thing or another. Now, what you can do is you can do a standard list of demographic data, kind of like you may already be used to, where you can look at your database and say, okay, well, I know most of my donors are women over the age of 30 who have pets in the house, right? Just as an example. You can build that list with our demographic data and focus it on, really a group of people that would be interested in your cause. But that's kind of the standard way to do things. What we offer is a little bit different. We applied all of our DonorSearch giving data to this data set, which means you can come here and say, I want any organization or any individuals that have already given to animal-related causes, who live in Alaska, who have a pet, or who have given, $1,000 or 5 different gifts to the arts. You can get very specific. Each variation that you add brings this database of hundreds and thousands of millions of records and brings it down until you can get to a list that you can actually manage. Now, built into the package, the first 500 records are built in, so you can pull a list, whether it's one list of 500 or 10 lists of 50. You can pull that list directly from the system and add it to your mailing list, okay? You're gonna get a name, a middle initial, a last name, and a full address, okay? That's easy enough. You can pull one list or many lists as you want. You can purchase a larger list here, right? And actually it's through the export panel here, but Bloomerang actually offers a discounted rate for that. So if this is something you're interested in, certainly let us know and we'll get you an exact price for however many records you want to mail to. The cool thing about it being built in is that you can play around the lists to figure out exactly the size of the list that you're looking for. You know, there may not be that many people in your area that fit that build. Okay, so you can kind of play around with it, get to the list you want, and then purchase the records if you want to do it that way. The next tool is our search options, and it's basically a drop down. This will give you a list of the data sets that we offer. The first 4 are directly in our profiles, but this allows you to do a kind of a backdoor search. So I showed you a Kevin Plank profile and found the Under Armour business listing. You could go through this business data section and find that Under Armour listing and then find Kevin Plank. You know, it works just like a backdoor, quick and easy. We also offer a few data sets for a reverse lookup. So if you only have an email or a phone or an address, but you don't know a name attached to it or more, you can use what you have to find more information here. We have a company gift matching policy or a tool to help you find which companies match gifts, powered by Double the Donation. So if you know you're right next to, as an example, Coke, right? If you're next to a big Coca-Cola factory and you know that several of your donors work there, you can come here to see if they match gifts. In this case, they match 2 to 1. So you can let your donors know that, and you can make a specific effort to get more donors that work there because their gifts are all being doubled, right? And then last but not least is that social discovery tool. This is another great way to, if you only have limited information, to find more. I'll give you an example. I'll pull up an email address of one of my bosses at DonorSearch. We'll look up Sarah at DonorSearch, and with only an email address, you may not even know her first name or any details about that email address, but you hit a search. This is going to pull up our social media platform, give you her full name, her title, and her business. All right, we're going to push her Twitter and her LinkedIn, so it shows you that she has over 1,000 followers. So that's certainly something you want to know. It gives you a little biography written by her about her, so you make sure you're learning things about your donor that they want people to know about them. And then from LinkedIn, we get a full education and employment history. Okay, so there's lots of information here. One of the cool parts is that if you only had an email address, you now have a full name, and through the education and employment history, you can see that they're a Maryland native. Okay, that would allow you to type in her information to the integrated search. And again, you only need the first name, last name, and state. So that would give you the capability of building an entire profile on that person where you only had an email on them moments ago. Okay. The next tool is a little bit different. This is our My Portfolio. This is where all the data lives. Okay, so whether you've clicked a button one by one and you want to look them up in your integrated search results, or you've done a batch screening with us. Either way, the data will be available here in what we call our totals table. And we'll put all the information side by side, and you can scroll through the data and see all the different data sets that are available. You can stick here, and we're going to give you a platform much like Excel to kind of move around columns, compare columns, do all that fun stuff. Or, of course, if you prefer Excel, you can always export it into Excel and play around with it there. Okay, all this data is available, and of course we support it with documents explaining each and every field. There's another way to look at a big batch screening, and that we call our executive analysis. That's available either here or here or here. We make it real easy to find. Okay, so when you click that analysis view, it's going to take a look at all the data we found on all your donors and summarize it for you. These go really well in board meetings because it helps not only you, but it helps your board understand your donors, right? And if this was yours, we're saying that these are 204 records, right? They've given about $4 million, but they're likely giving elsewhere is over 100 million. Right, so there's certainly some upside to working with this particular group. 20% of them are known major donors that have given a major gift somewhere. You can click on that pie and pull up that list of people, or you can dig further with all these other charts. You know, what's the capacity range for your database? Here it is. You know, this is your donor pyramid. Who do my donors, who else do they give to? You can look at that by dollar figure or by number of gifts, okay? And you can look by category for general purposes or specific organizations. This batch of people gave the most amount of money to Spelman College. However, they gave the most amount of gifts to the YWCA of Kalamazoo, okay? So if this was your organization, you can see who you're competing with, and you can see what other similar organizations your donors are giving to. So if you know that your donors give to these specific organizations, then you can try to look at those organizations to see who's not giving to you, because they are likely to find an interest in your nonprofit as well. Okay, so it just helps you know more about your donors. We've included a map feature to where you can say, okay, I know where, you know, in general, most of my donors are, but specifically, where are my major donor opportunities? Or specifically, where are the people who have given me the largest gifts or something along those lines, okay? So you can drill down and zoom in and even put the little gold man over here on the map and get a picture of their house, okay? Which you would, of course, want to zoom in for, but that's a crazy, beautiful place to make a donation. So I digress, but it's all available inside the DonorSearch online suite of tools, and you would have the capability and capacity to explore all of this with the service. And Bloomerang offers this whole suite of tools at a highly discounted rate, so you can talk to them specifically about that. And of course, it wouldn't be the same without unlimited client support and training. So any organization that purchases this suite of tools will also have access to not only our online help center, which will provide documentation and guides and everything like that to walk you through it, but you'll also have access to our client support team and their webinars and their training sessions, and they can, you know, take a look at your file and help you identify your top prospects for your upcoming campaign, that kind of thing.